As you heard, my name is Lewis. I'm responsible for Bandwidth's business in Europe. Europe, in our case, we call it EMEA. It includes the Middle East and the Emirates and all those countries over there, Russia as well, and Africa. So it's more than just Germany, Benelux, England, and France. As you can imagine, a pretty complex organization, all nailed down on the partner support we are working on. That's eminent importance for us to engage with partners. That's our business model. That means if you look at the teams we have in place, everything is centric around partners in the market. It's hard to talk what Martin was saying. We are good, we are great, we are fascinating, we have good messages. I want to just give you a little history where we came from. So if you go to the next slide. This is really innovation connected to sustainability. Mr. Jack Kennedy founded this company more than 60 years ago, and I would say it's really that kind of American startup thing, in the garage doing something, and then building a company which today is more than 5,500 people and more than $1 billion in turnover, operating all around the globe. But why we show that here is you see that little product sketch, which is a panel conduit, which was the first patent Mr. Jack Kennedy has filed. That product is still in use. That's sustainability. He invented that, and it's sustainable in the market. So how do we come from a panel conduit to $1 billion turnover in data center and in OEM business and all of this? How did we get there? Very simple. I think the go-to-market model of Jack was, now I have this conduit. What connects to that conduit? What's going into that conduit? What's around this conduit? So there's cable inside, there's cable ties, all the stuff we sell today is originating from the idea, how do I build my business around this conduit? So sooner or later, like 20, 25 years ago, it made us enter in the network infrastructure space. So we are very prominent now in data centers. People like SAP trust exclusively on conduit cabinets. So that's what we continue to do. Martin was talking about innovation. We continue innovating in the same process. We are constantly looking at product, adding to the portfolio. I've not seen much product where we've been given up on. That means the portfolio is growing, and we are adding on investments like acquisitions. You may have read about Alona, the acquisition we did in the AV space 2 or 3 years ago, which is nicely complementary what we do in the wiring on the enterprise business. So that's innovation, but innovation to me goes with sustainability. If I present a plan, to the CEO who resides in Chicago, no surprise, and I will tell him I grow 5%, he will like it. And then I tell him, but on the other hand, I lose 5%, he will tell me you're not growing. So we have to sustain what we got, and we have to build on that base. So on the next slide, it shows you where we're operating. And really, the panel conduit sitting in the left bucket, a little in the second option, but really on the left, which is industrial construction and maintenance and repair. That's where we're originating. What is that? You can see that picture. Oil fields, we are serving people like investors, windmills, all these people that have maintenance and repair operations, with products like cable ties, ID products, grounding products. Not the biggest portion of Bandwidth's business anymore if you look at the total share of what we are selling. The OEM piece, this is just an example. You can see that train, that could be a truck, it could be a car, it could be a ship. So we are selling into the OEMs in this world who like our product a lot. Very often we are specified exclusively, but also very often there's certainly competition because a cable tie is a kind of standardized product. And if you don't differentiate by quality or service, it's getting a commodity you compete on pricing, which is not what we're trying to do. If you take that 2 left bars, OEM and ICMRO, is roughly 40% of Bandwidth's business. Now you're connected to my previous messaging, that's where we come from. That means we have grown quicker outside where we come from, which is the enterprise and the DC space. I was talking about SAP, which would fit into the second from the right, data center. Enterprise, we describe everything that's a kind of building installation that needs connectivity. So we're talking here, there's certainly tons of wires in this room, so I can talk to you through a microphone. There's intelligence getting into the buildings, so that's what we're serving as well. And that's really the biggest growing portion. While I have to say over the last 3 to 4 years, we've put more emphasis to grow that electrical business, ICMO and OEM, and it's escalating, it's catching up as well. The industrial piece, we all hear about Industry 4.0, something we are looking into, automated warehouses, automated manufacturing lines, everywhere where you need data and signals, and we will hear a lot of presentation about this later. I'm not going into detail here, but that's a message. It's an expansion of our network infrastructure activities into wherever network infrastructure is expanding into. We are following that market. What that means on the next slide, that's already my last one. There's a big support to everything we try to do. And as you can imagine, Bandwidth was born in the States. The owner family was still private owned, resides in the States. The CEO resides in the States. Our headquarters are in the US. So there's a lot of activity in the US when it comes to engineering, testing, qualifying, specifying, all these kind of things. So you can see here, first of all, we have a really fascinating innovation center where we exhibit our solutions. It's been rebuilt recently. It's tremendous. Wherever you have the chance, look at it. We can provide videos. We can get people there if we want to. We just had people from the Middle East this week in that tech center, and people always come back fascinated with those solutions. You see that we have 2,000 R&D personnel. The total spend of Bandwidth for R&D versus revenues is in the 5% range. That's a big number. We know the competitive numbers. We are investing more in R&D than most of the people we know. And that's connecting to Martin's message, we want to be innovative. Innovation means R&D. Laboratories, that's why we specify and test product. So fiber cable, for example, extensive testing. And that's where we are able to differentiate from competitors. Because the performance of many of our products, you'll hear more about this today, later, is coming from the extraordinary performance our product is delivering. Then you can see this very nice number. Quite a big number of revenue we create today is made with products that are very young. That means there is dynamic in our portfolio. I think it would be dangerous if I stay here and say, hey guys, we do $1 million, and all the products we sell today, we had them 10 years ago. In the network infrastructure space, many of you come from there, that would kill you immediately. So it's a number we have to have, I would say. We are proud about it, but it's something we need to follow, and it's not nothing we can give away. And then, as you can see on the right, there's a lot of norms and specifications in the US, in Europe, we have to follow with many of our products. So if we don't engage in due time with those standard bodies, creating those norms, we would move ourselves out of the market. Because we know those markets where people say you have to have that standard, you have to have that certification, without that you simply cannot sell. So again, good thing to do, but it's a must we have to do as well. So by this, maybe a few words on Europe. So I was joining Bandwidth, I have to say again, in 2014 as Managing Director for Europe. I served for Bandwidth from 85 to 97, running anything that was technical in a plant close to Frankfurt. And then I left Bandwidth, and they called me 2014 to come back and run Europe. And in a weak moment, I accepted that offer. And that's why I'm here today. So what is Europe about? We are roughly 25% of Bandwidth's global revenue. So we are not small. We are operating anywhere. You hear people from the Emirates talking to you today, from the UK, many countries, and that's what we serve and that's what we support. If I look at the numbers over the last 5-6 years, we have outperformed the market growth on average by 3%. So the CAGR for Europe is in the 6% range, and that includes Corona 2020. believe it or not, the revenues for Europe only dropped 2% in the Corona period. We look at competition, most were double digit. So that means we do the right thing. By the way, it's my personal task. My CEO tells me you have to grow quicker than the market grows. So we try to follow that smart advice. And we are doing that. There's ups and downs. The good thing here that helps. Look at what happens now. I had a pretty big plan for Russia this year. That plan dropped to 0. So I have to compensate. And that's why my organization can help me. You know, we are serving in 56 countries in Europe. And if I'm short in Russia, I may do more in Egypt, I may do more in Finland, I may do more in Italy. It doesn't matter. But we can play that game. And that's the game we played definitely in the Corona year. So Corona, we had huge numbers from Russia, which helped us through 2020. Now 2022 is down on Russia, but Corona is gone in many countries and we can grow elsewhere. So we can balance this very nicely. Saying that, I think I'm good. If there's no immediate question, I'm here all day, including dinner. Any questions come up, feel free and reach out. One question?
So you only develop